Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host and Latte Excited Eddie V. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Edward. How are you? How are you this fine weekend?
I am doing good. Got my hair cut. Oh, so happy. Because I was a rough looking pimp for a couple of whiles. I'm just like, this needs to go. But I'm doing great. And speaking of great and amazing person, we have the one, the only, the lovely Indie Block herself, Miss Stephanie Klimo. Hello.
Hello. I'm here, fully
She's
physical,
back.
not digital, baby. Well, actually, it would be the opposite, but never mind. That didn't work out the way I thought it was. Quiet.
She's the gang key to Boss Rush Network.
I like that better. Thank you.
Yes. Hi. I will be seeing you in a month, and I'm super excited.
I know. April's flying by, and you're right. In a month, we'd be wrapping up PAX. Whew.
Exactly.
Crazy.
I actually just booked. I actually got my first booking. Playism. I got to put it in an organizer, and I'm gonna do that. I was actually speaking to their PR person, and because I had like put different days, different times, because I didn't know who was all like if there was gonna be different people. And the PR person got back to me. She's just like, I seen this, I understand where you're trying to go for, but since the game demos don't take so long, you can actually do everything in one day. So they're giving me like an hour plus to do all the demos, and then I get to talk to one of the directors and one of the producers at Playism, and I'm super excited because of Playism is like now definitely on my radar as a developer and as a publisher and developer for some of their games. So I'm super excited to talk to them and everything. So now just waiting for more people to send invite, because I'm just like, is this the only one? Are we gonna be able to talk to anybody?
They'll come in. It starts at a slow trickle, and then you'll get hosed. We finally got one from Dread XP. We usually see Dread XP every year, and I'll definitely be swinging by their booth. But give it like another week or two, and you'll be wanting to shield yourself.
Yeah. I'm hoping to see the Polish companies there. And the developers who made Sacrifice, I hope they're there. Because got to talk to them PAX West and play their game. And I want to like congratulate them on, announcing that they got a release date and stuff. And I'm really proud of them. So hopefully I'll be able to see them. I'm like, yeah, I played your game, your demo last year at PAX West, and I'm just happy that you guys got a date for it, and like just congratulate them. So
I'm waiting for the email because they announced it but didn't open appointments yet. I know what y'all feel about limited run, but they will be having the demo of Gex there, and I want to get a feel of how Gex is going to play.
Yes. Oh, I remember playing Gex. It was a good game. So
Definitely, it has some pop culture references that I'm not sure how they're gonna pull off today. So we'll see.
They'll be fine. No one younger than us is going to be playing Gex. So
True.
unless Gex is in Fortnite sometime.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. It's Psycho guy. Nope, it's Gex.
Yeah, I could totally see Gex in Fortnite. Unfortunately, I mean we got Sabrina Carpenter, so what? I mean Gex.
I don't know. Everyone who's anyone is in freaking Fortnite, but don't get me started on that. Let's keep going.
Yes. So, yeah. So, Corey, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm a little bit tired, but I had a big revelation on the website today where I unlocked some features that we weren't really utilizing on bossrush.net, and so happy. I'm happy. I texted David, and I know he's on vacation right now or on his way home. I don't know how time works. I know he's upside down in a hobbit hole somewhere. But we have some SEO kind of thing. This is behind the scenes, nobody really cares about. Basically, we're gonna have better SEO kind of things, and there's a social media plugin that I found that WordPress will automatically post your stuff to every platform except for Twitter now. When
yes.
it was only because, and I know people watching this are probably like, oh, WordPress already posts social media. The way WordPress has worked recently is that it only connected to Facebook, and they just kept saying, we're working on the other platforms. And then like we would connect it to LinkedIn, but it wouldn't connect to your pages. It only connected to personal profiles. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, and then like the Instagram connector was broken, and because the Instagram connector was broken, the Threads connector was broken. But now it is not broken. It will post directly to, and also the cool thing is too, is like for each social media platform, you can connect multiple accounts. So what I did was like, I connected like, as a quote unquote connected account. So all the Boss Rush stuff that goes out on bossrush.net will go to the Boss Rush Network social media platforms. But then I connected mine as an unconnected social media network. So only the things that I publish will go out on my social media.
Oh, okay.
So like David and I were kind of tossing around the idea of like, if people have social media, they should probably connect it to this, but we'll have that conversation at a later date. But look, I spend way too much time on social media. Not on social media, but preparing our stuff for social media.
I mean, it's Boss Rush. It's your job, kind of. I mean, it's like your everything. Your life kind of revolves around it. But hey, I mean, you're getting with the times. I'm really falling behind. I'm starting to become that old lady that doesn't know how to reboot a computer. I know how to do that. I'm just saying, like, that'll be my equivalent when I get older.
It's just like, then you turn on social media and you're like, why do I even do this anyway?
Right?
It's all just hot garbage.
I actually took like one of those like breaks from social media for the past month, and I'm like, man, do I really want to go?
I know. I've been like pretty much off social media, except to like check certain things once in a while. Since the bossies have been over. And like I feel like everybody thinks I just disappeared. Because like all the stuff that it posts for my social media channels is automated. So like I'm just like, man, I should really start reaching back out to people so they don't think I just fell off a cliff after these. But other than that, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm yeah. Like right. Donnie and Ninja Turtles 2. Yeah. And he's pushing that like clown thing, the blow up clown.
The punchy clown, yeah.
That intro to that movie was so good.
And then Michelangelo uses sausages as nunchucks. That's pretty good too.
Comedy. Kids comedy.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, you guys, how about we get into this housekeeping?
No. Okay.
All right. Well, this is Nintendo Pow Block, the Nintendo podcast for Boss Rush Media and the Boss Rush Network. You can learn more and support us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. Join for as little as $1 a month. Grants you ad-free access to our main shows, early access to Expansion Pass and Video Game Book Club, exclusive access to Power Block's One Up podcast, and more. Become a Patreon producer at the $5 level or even follow us for free. If you can't support us financially, please head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a 5-star rating and a great review as it helps with discoverability. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And make sure you leave a comment or question below, As always, you can follow us on social media platforms at Pow Block Podcast and at Boss Rush Network. And you can find all of our content, including reviews, listicles, features, our daily banter discussions, and more on bossrush.net. I know we have some upcoming content. Corey, would you like to speak about that? You posted a story lately about a Bungie game.
I mean, it's not. I didn't make the game. I just wrote about it. No, I mean, I wrote an article about Marathon, which is Bungie's kind of follow up to Destiny, although it's not like Destiny at all. Really, it's an extraction shooter. It's 3v3, v3, 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 v3. And it's like a PvPvE environment, and basically what you do is you go into these, you take on these contracts or these missions, and you go in and try to extract intel and weapons and tech, and you try to go in and beat the other teams to it, and take it back to your, I guess, base or your ship or however you get to these places, and try to leave before the other teams come and kill you for it. So should be interesting. It looks really cool. It looks really fun. They say they're making it accessible for solo players, because obviously it's meant to be played, with a team of 2 other people. But they say it's accessible to solo players. So I assume you'll just be match made into a team of 3 at some point and go in. But it looks really cool. The big reveal was today. Gameplay reveal coming soon, way sooner than I thought. Alpha drops mid-April, which I already signed up for, and
I'm gonna say we're pretty much there mid-April.
Yeah, I think it drops on the 23rd. Let's say 12th. Yeah, 23rd, and then September. It's out in September. Bold to drop a release date when GTA doesn't have one yet.
Yeah.
I mean, not really the same crowd, but maybe. But it's also coming out at the same time as like Borderlands. Borderlands 4.
I'm kind of surprised that Sony let them do this instead of doing like a state of play or anything.
I mean, the Bungie always does their own stuff though, and this game was already revealed at a state of play, so this was just their kind of big event for the game, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it was revealed last year at their state of play, Sony's, or maybe their summer showcase or whatever.
Because it was just a gameplay reveal of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and they kind of explained like the character classes, because it's class-based shooter. So like you have your 6 different classes. So they're called runners, and each one has a specialty. There's like a stealth one and a tanky one. If you think of any kind of RPG, those types of classes, they just kind of slide those into this. So more Overwatchy than traditional like Halo, what you would think of. But that's the other thing though. No RPG elements in this game. It's straight up loot based, straight up multiplayer. You can upgrade your weapons by finding better loot, but like it's really just skill based in like how you can upgrade your weapons. So that's cool. Glad to see that, because like I don't know, it feels like they ripped everything out of what everybody complains about in Destiny and just threw it into and took it out of this. So it looks cool. I will play it. I don't know how much I'll stick with it, but I'll play it, because Bungie shooters are always really at least interesting, and they do something different. So maybe people stop talking about that Tarkov game for once, and remember Rainbow Six Extraction that came out like 2 years ago? And
like what happened? What happened with that?
It's
unfortunate.
Yeah, but that's not to on a very, very basic level. That's the type of game it is. So,
yeah, okay.
Colors
Stephanie,
are cool, though. Ugh.
Stephanie, do you have anything, any content or anything you want to plug?
Unfortunately, not at this time. Things are kind of like backlogged and up in the air, but stay tuned after PAX. So, starting in May in the summer, I'll get some spotlights lined up for everybody. So stay tuned.
Okay. Yeah, and everybody check out our Nintendo Direct recap about the Switch 2. We all had a great discussion, and we're still thinking about Switch 2. We don't have no information for pre-orders, but the conversations have been really good about the Switch 2. And so, check it out, our direct recap on our thoughts and what we think of the reveal for the system. But you guys, how about we talk about what we've been snacking on when Snackendo? Stephanie, what have you been snacking on?
Fortunately, nothing terribly interesting, but I will say I went to like a community dinner. It was for Lent, so it's like no meat or whatever. And they had these
Mm.
vegetarian enchiladas. And,
Ooh,
I'm a carnivore, so I'm kind of like, oh, well, I'll give it a shot. 'Cause it's either that or it's pasta or salad. And let me
yeah.
tell you, it was really freaking delicious. As another reminder, I'm like, vegetarian and vegan food these days taste miles better than what they used to be 20 years ago. And it was just like it's got that sauce, and it was just I'm like my mouth's watering just talking about it. I can't explain the flavor. Like the flavor was 100% there. Obviously, when I'm chewing it, I could tell there's no meat in there, but the flavor was on point. So I just want to give a shout out to some delicious vegetarian meals out there with those enchiladas.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Uh, Corey, what have you been snacking on?
Um, so we went to Columbus last weekend. I wasn't on last week because we were out of town. So I we went to Columbus and we kind of just we just had some local foods down there. Not that like Central Ohio is any different than Northeast Ohio, but it's it was fun. It was a good time. We what did we eat for dinner the one day we had so we had Chipotle, but it was like the best Chipotle I think I've had in a long time. Uh, they had that honey that new chicken.
Honey
I was
chipotle.
Yeah, it was really good. The honey Chipotle chicken was really good.
Yeah.
And then what else? Oh, we I had Chick-fil-A for the first time in like 2 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh,
Um, my kids were freaked out because we told them we were going to get them fries, but they were waffle fries, and they had never seen the waffle fry before.
Uh, what did
And
they think?
they were so confused, and then they like tried to eat them, but they were like confused that they looked like waffles but tasted like fries.
Uh,
And so like they ate like half the box, and they're like, I don't know if I want these anymore. All right, I'll eat them. I'll eat them all.
and you did.
Then I knew how I felt afterwards. I was like, man, no wonder why I'm the largest human being on the planet. So good though. Those Something about the waffle fries, man. There's a lot of salt.
mm.
It's the salt. There's so much salt on there.
Salt is so good.
You know. And it was also like the first time I had like mayonnaise in 2 years because I put it on the sandwich,
Mm.
Oh,
on the
okay.
spicy chicken sandwich, and I was like, I forgot how good mayonnaise tasted. I was like, oh my
Dude.
gosh, it's so good.
Speaking of mayonnaise, I'm sorry, I did forget one, and I'm only saying it just because you brought up mayonnaise. My boyfriend brought back a sandwich from a place called Big Beef that he always goes to. Like he orders
Uh,
sandwiches out a lot, and I don't. I'm like, all right, let me see what's all this hype about that you keep ordering it from. And it's this delicious roast beef sandwich. I very rarely have roast beef. And it's got like mustard, mayo, lettuce, and I like hots, so they put banana peppers in there. But it's on like a bulky roll with like onions on it, but not like in the raw sense. You know how sometimes you have those like onion bagel, like that flavor? I don't know.
yeah.
So good. And I love restaurants and delis that actually like give you a lot of meat for the money that you pay for it. They're not like Subway where they give you like one layer of turkey or something. It's just so beefy. Sorry, just
It
mayonnaise is delicious.
is.
Ah,
Oh, it's so good.
uh, anything else, Corey?
No. Oh, we had Dewey's Pizza tonight. The Santa Fe barbecue chicken pizza, which is like really good. Except their prices went up, and I didn't notice. And I ordered the wrong pizza because like the medium sized pizza is now the same price as the large pizza,
Ooh,
and
It's
so like yeah, that was really upsetting. But it's fine. It's fine.
well,
It was good.
for me, I also had the honey chipotle chicken today for lunch.
yum.
I had my corner booth pizza on Friday, where it's pepperoni, bacon, and sausage. It's a pup style pizza. And you're supposed to cut it in the pup style. Oh, it was so delicious. Like I ate half the pizza, put the rest to the side to save it, went upstairs and fell asleep. I was gone. I was out. Um had some sushi from the grocery store. I didn't go to my normal sushi place or anything. I just had a taste for it. So I got that one night, and that's pretty much it. I don't know if I ever told anyone, and Corey, you might want to cover your ears for this. I had the Reese's Pieces peanut butter and jelly peanut butter cups. Um,
Ooh.
so
How'd
it's
that taste?
so it's so they have a strawberry and a grape flavor. And it's kind of like almost like the caramel one where it's at the bottom of the where the peanut butter is at. The grape is good. It really tastes like Smuckers.
Okay.
For the grape. It was really good. The strawberry, because the peanut butter was so powerful, you could barely taste the strawberry, and the strawberry tasted like Welch's strawberry jam.
Hmm.
I'm just like, this is odd. Me and another associate was tasting it. So we got it 2 Sundays ago, like 2 weeks ago, and me and another associate were the first one to try them, because we had it for like two for $4 for and they're only king size for them. So we tried it, and we both agreed that we liked the grape and not really feeling the strawberry, but the strawberry was decent. I had to stop in to work, and we had two big boxes of them. Now they're all gone
Hmm.
of it. So I was just like, oh, some people like must have really loved it. But yeah, um, I just didn't know if I ever talked about it on Pow Block, and I know Corey doesn't like peanut butter, so that's why I said everybody for him to cover his ears. But these were really good. The peanut butter and jelly Reese's Pieces butter peanut butter cups. If you find a grape, I definitely recommend. If you're not feeling great and you want to try the strawberry, um, I, you can get the strawberry, but I think yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard. I would say definitely if you're getting the strawberry, drink it with some milk, um, or to something to dilute the peanut butter so you can actually taste the strawberry, more. But the great one,
You could just not
really good.
have the peanut butter and just have the strawberry.
Or you
But
could just have the peanut butter.
uh,
Listen, I love peanut butter. Reese's is actually one of my top tier like candies if I were to ever indulge next to a Twix.
mhm,
But I will say this, and I'm also a fan of a peanut butter jelly like combo, but I don't know, when I think jelly, I think I need to have it fresh. So I'm not sure how I would feel about the combo in a Reese's. But I'm conflicted because I like Reese's. I like
mhm.
peanut butter and jelly. I don't know how I feel. I'll have to try and see what I think.
I think for us, when we tried the strawberry, we kind of felt like it needed to be at the top of it instead of the
Mm-hmm.
bottom. And it needs to be more strawberry because I'm like, what they gave us just like it didn't stand out. I think the peanut butter was just overpowering with the strawberry. It was good with the grape because it tasted like a great peanut butter and jelly sandwich, not the strawberry one.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's just our latest snack. We did get some new drinks, and stuff, but I haven't been able to try them yet because we haven't put them out. We're doing a reset at my job for for our liquid stuff. So they're supposed to come in and redo our cooler to put these drinks and stuff out. So, once that all get fixed, I'll be able to try some new flavors and let you guys know about it.
All right.
So yes. With that, everybody, we're gonna move on and talk about what we have been playing with power. Corey, what have you been playing with power?
Honestly, I haven't really been playing that much. I've played a little bit of Mario Kart with Riley throughout last weekend and whatever, but I really haven't been playing much. I'm like in that weird spot where like I finished Fire Emblem and I'm so hesitant to start anything newish because the Switch 2 is coming out, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I saw Breath of the Wild running at 60 frames a second, and I saw Mario Kart look amazing, and Donkey Kong that I'm like looking at the games of my Switch, and I'm like, it's time to retire now. So like I'm trying to decide if I want to play like something on my Xbox. I could probably finish the Destiny season. That's probably something I should do. But there's something about just like laying down and playing in bed or, just not having to like sit and engage really with it and like, or have something on in the background while you play.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, because like I've been watching Daredevil on the Netflix show on Disney Plus, because I want to watch the new one, but
Yes.
apparently it's a direct continuation. So I'm like, oh, I guess I should probably finish the old show or whatever. And it's like really hard to play Xbox and do that at the same time. so, so I'm trying to figure out what my next move is. I'm like, we're still 2 months away from the Switch 2, right? And that's if I get one at launch, if I'm able to get one at launch. So like, I should play something, but also like, I've already seen better things on this device now.
Are you going to get the Hook Complete Edition?
Yeah, it's cheap. It's only like
$4,
$3 or $4.
Yeah,
Someone was playing it on Twitter today. I saw like I was doing our social media, like fixing the stuff and seeing if things were going through or whatever, and like I saw somebody streaming to Twitter Hook the Complete Edition. I was like, oh, that's cool.
It's such a relaxing game. I know I still got a lot of puzzles to do just from the first Hook, because I never played the second one. And I'm just like,
there's a second one.
Well, that's what the Complete Edition is. It's the Hook, the second book or something. So it might be like the DLC or something like that.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of it. I want to play Xenoblade, but like they already have found that 60 frames mode in the other game, in this game, and then the other games will just benefit from that boost anyway, the power boost. So like, I'm not going to start that yet. I should probably play Assassin's Creed actually, because I was really enjoying it, and then I stopped because of being busy and too tired to engage in it.
For Shadows.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, game I'll pick up when I come from PAX. When I come back from PAX. What about you, Stephanie? What have you been playing with power?
it's almost kind of similar mindset that I have like with Corey, where I'm preparing to play like a lot of larger, meatier games in the summer onward. So I'm
Mhm.
trying not to get into anything too big. So oddly enough, I'm still hooked on this game called the Sultan's Game. I got a review code for it to write a review. I'm going to tell you, pre-launch, it was awful. Was bad. But I was like, I'm not going to write the review. I'm going to hold off writing the review until after it launches because they say that they're going to fix some stuff. So
Mhm.
wouldn't be fair. So they actually did. I ended up enjoying it. I've actually clocked 40 hours on the game because I'm really stubborn and I want to at least have one full successful playthrough because it is a RPG roguelike deck builder, and this past week, I finally was able to find my way to the very end, the very last final boss fight. The last fight, everything else I knocked out of the park. Like successfully beat, defeat, 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 and I just got blasted by the final
Oh
boss. I
no!
got myrtleated. And I'm like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. So I'm giving myself one more run before I put it down. I just can't keep up with it. Um, I technically brought this up with the Boss Rush podcast, but I'll say it here is I played and beat Split Fiction. I played with Pat. Just want to bring it up here. I do think it's a fantastic game, and I know it's coming to the Switch too, and I highly recommend it. And lastly, I started a game called A Dark Room or Dark Place. I forget. It's on the Switch. It's one of those, when I first got the Switch, I like went and bought up a ton of like small indie games that were on
Mhm.
sale and they were sitting on my backlog. So I'm like, oh, I'll just pick this one and just chip away at my backlog. It's a game I could probably get into, but because I'm playing Sultan's Game, I'm having a hard time playing that at the same time. So what it is it's very simple. It's a text-based, quote unquote, adventure game, but all you really do is repeatedly gather firewood and hunt, and then you like venture out from your one dark room, and then you hit like, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's randomly procedure. Or, I can't talk right now, but like that thing.
Mhm.
Basically, you got to really like build up and strategize and grow. And I'm like, all right, I'm already putting in a lot of strategy brain power into Sultan's game, so I don't know if I'll keep playing it. It's not bad. I just too much of the same kind of game. So. But that's what I'm playing now. I'm gonna try to switch things up again and maybe nail another game or two before PAX or before the Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah. Well,
What
for
about you?
me, so been on the Yakuza run, like just playing some of the games that I never finished. Like I said, I finished the man who lost his name, like a dragon, Gaiden. So I'm playing Yakuza 6 right now because I never got a chance to beat 6. That is the last kind of story with a character named Kazuma Kiryu. And everything. So I'm like halfway through the game. I still got more to play, but that's what I've been playing and spending my time on it. I've been doing less of the side quests. It's just more the main game. So I'm kind of getting through the game. The thing with this one is it doesn't feel like it has a lot of content because there's a lot of cutscene story beats. So it's heavy a heavy story driven game in this cutscenes than it actually is, and just having this open world aesthetic that the game series is known for, I should say. So I'm working on being that. And then I'm going to like probably move on to some other games and stuff. I just been playing my Xbox more lately. Not saying that I don't have a lot to play for Switch because like I said, I got Xenoblade Chronicles X playing that, but I'm like, there's just games sitting on my Xbox that I need to play and get off. So when I get back from PAX and like get Assassin's Creed and South by Midnight, I'll be able to have that to play. I'm going to be going through my Switch library probably during PAX and after. Like playing the Capcom Fighting Collection. There's the Phoenix Rice games that I need to finish on there. Like there's still stuff that I still got in cases in this plastic that I haven't even taken out and put in my Switch to try. So I'm right now I'll be working on that like in May, getting a lot of that stuff done. But like Yakuza 6 is what I'm working on right at this moment. So yeah. Well, do we have any pickups? Anybody? Any weekly pickups?
Not yet. So I bought something today, but I did not get it today. It's coming tomorrow because I bought it on Amazon. Because why would you buy anywhere else at this point? So since the marathon reveal happened, a lot of the Destiny stuff is on sale, like deep discount. So I bought the last Destiny character statue that I needed. That was $130 originally for $40. So I was like, it's not going to be lower anytime soon. So I might as well get it. So I did. Also the big Savathun statue that's 3 feet wide and 2 feet tall. That was originally $300 is like $110 right now, but can't spend that much money. So I have a Switch to pay for. So and 2 GameCube controllers and Pro controller and
I was going to say the Switch 2 to pay for, the games, the Pro controller. I mean, I don't know about you. At least maybe I'll save money by not getting the camera. But they also have a Piranha Plant camera. Like I want to run a Piranha Plant. I don't know. It's just it adds up.
But it's significantly cheaper apparently.
Because it's 480. It's 480p.
Yeah, it's not an HD camera either.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because when my face is in a circle that's like this big on a TV in a group chat, I need it to be 4K. I needed to run at flawless 4K 60 frames a second at least. HDR.
Even though you're gonna be still focusing on the screen, playing with it.
Ray tracing.
Exactly. So like, I don't think the visual fidelity of my face doing C for chat is that big of a deal. I mean, judging from what I see, the quality wasn't like perfect either. Not that I expect it, nor do I require it, but I'm just saying, like, well, I don't need to be putting my money there. So,
you know what? I'm excited to use the chat feature, and just to see how everything goes. Like, invite people in, because definitely, trying to pick it up from my Switch. I want to see how that quality is, because I'm definitely gonna have my Bluetooth headset. So I'm really about just like, okay, if the voice quality is good in my headset, I'll be great to go. I'll be like, oh, okay, Nintendo, y'all put some work, y'all put some money into this, y'all thought about this. Cool. Like, as long as you come out crystal clear, I don't hear a blender and all of this other stuff. Let's see what you guys do.
We're going to have to test this out. We're going to go in a game chat, and then I'm going to have my son turn the blender on in the background.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to go. I'm gonna try to set up a when we did Mario Party that one time, but use the cameras. But the problem is everybody has to get the Switch 2 version of Mario Party Jamboree to use that feature. So I don't know if people want to spend an extra $20 or $10 on that, but
I'd be willing to do it for that.
I mean, if it's a $10 upgrade pack, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so we'll see. But it's sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's pretty much probably gonna be me, depending what is not NSO upgradable. I'll pay for the upgrade packs for myself if I need to. Tears and Zelda, Tears and Breath, I don't have to pay because I'm an NSO member. But man,
yeah, but those physicals are on the cart, which is great. Good news.
Yeah. But I'll be good. But I'll be good. I got Breath, I got Tears. I'm good. I'm just waiting for the next Zelda game so I could just be like, okay, what are you up to, Nintendo? On my list off. What nonsense do you have? Corey, Stephanie, I need y'all. I need y'all theories.
Jeez.
Oh, that's gonna. If that's a E3 / Summer Direct showcase kind of show me to be like, here's the next Zelda game we're thinking about. All about that's pretty much gonna steal all the conversations for E3 / Summer Direct, or just a Summer Direct, because it's like, yeah, we want to talk about this game, but I'm like, oh, this is some interesting artwork. Oh, this is a different design in Hyrule. What's kind of story? Okay, I need to know something. What are y'all doing?
Yeah. Well, guess we'll find out sooner or later, sometime.
So, well, everybody, it's time for Femi News. Corey, take it away.
It sure is. We have a lot to talk about, so everybody buckle up.
Oh boy,
we're getting
It's
drip
like
fed all this stuff. Holy crap!
I know it's a lot of smaller stories, but I think worth talking about. Our first story, actually breaking news from a group chat message. Can't confirm nor deny who it was from. Let's see here. Nintendo Japan has shared some pictures from what the Switch 2 online app looks like. This is from Stealth40K on Twitter and on Blue Sky, if you're over there. As long as the eShop runs better than the original Switch, that's the major improvement Stealth is looking for. But this article from Video Games Chronicle, I'm gonna bring it up on my computer real quick here so I can maybe read it. Nintendo Switch Online app looks a bit more slick than the Switch 2. So it's kind of neat on here where, like, if you're looking at the images at the top, it has all the NSO expansion pack kind of retro games at the top. And then underneath it has a bunch of images of what I'm assuming are supposed to be either games or retro games or something. I don't know. Maybe that's how their NSO is lined up. But yeah, it looks really slick. The app, again, this is from Video Games Chronicle. The app, which is accessible from the home menu, will allow users to see its library of retro games, seeing changes, change settings, and view subscription status. Wow, and I did not read that correctly at all. The Switch Online app is separate from the individual retro console apps, such as for Nintendo GameCube or Game Boy, which retain a familiar design on Switch 2. Nintendo detailed its new Switch 2 subscriber benefits earlier this month, including access to Game Chat, which allows users to chat with friends and share their game screen. At launch, Nintendo GameCube Nintendo Classics library for Nintendo Switch 2 will include 3 games: Zelda, Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX, with other titles coming a bit later. It's cool. I think this looks really clean. I don't know. What do you think, Stephanie? What do you think? You're the one that sent this to us, so you get to go first.
I'm pretty excited about it, although I don't have much knowledge as to how different or the same it would look in Japan versus here. Like, I don't know if there's a consistency or difference between the two, so I'm hoping what we see is what we'll get. Any sort of level of streamlining of that platform would be great, and hopefully it's a reflection of more improvements like the eShop. You know, that's what I'm hoping that
Yeah.
that's kind of leading the path toward.
Yeah. Ed, what about you? What do you think?
I like it. It looks really nice. It looks clean. It's good to have it all like in one instead of having to jump around. What I wonder if they're gonna add like the N64 mature app part to it. Hopefully we see that like in the future. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking where they're going with this and it looking clean and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks super clean. I like the kind of like the menu on the left side looks pretty clean. I don't know. Sometimes the orange like really hurts my eyes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there'll be a dark mode for this. I doubt it because it's Nintendo. But just because as I've gotten older, I start preferring dark mode on
Yeah.
most things. So
My phone's all set to dark mode. My Gmail set to dark mode.
Yeah, that was actually one of the larger not criticisms but requests for Boss Rush podcast, because the background of our podcast in video form is white and it's so blinding that like they're like, can you make it a darker color?
They don't want to
I'm
be
like,
blinded
okay.
by the light?
No, guess not. So yeah, so spoilers everybody, this week's episode's on a blue background, so you're welcome. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about this yet until they kind of come out and talk more about it. I wonder if we'll hear a little bit about it at the Mario Kart Direct next week. Maybe not. But we will definitely keep everybody updated once we learn about it. All right, heading back to Video Games Chronicle for our first prepared story. Nintendo Switch 2 versions of Nintendo Switch 1 games contain the game and upgrade pack on the cartridge. Nintendo clarifies via their website. Nintendo has clarified the physical Switch 2 edition game cartridges will include both the original Nintendo Switch game and its corresponding upgrade pack on the same game card. No download codes required. This ensures that players purchasing these editions receive the complete experience directly from the cartridge. So Nintendo said complete experience directly on the cartridge, and then people again were being just people on the internet saying, where's my Zelda DLC on the cartridge? Where's my Zelda DLC on the cartridge? Because it doesn't, like, Breath of the Wild doesn't come with the DLC on the cart. And I just was like, come on. I'm so tired of people complaining.
That's usually, I would see DLC coming with the game in like a special edition, like how Elden Ring is going to have the Tarnished edition. This is just Breath of the Wild, poop heads. But
Yeah.
sorry, I realize I can't really swear on this podcast. So, I have a question for you guys based on this and probably a couple other articles later on, or just the news we've been getting in general. Do you feel that all this need for clarification about the whole, like, which version we're getting what on the actual card and what's digital or not, do you think it was Nintendo's failure to properly detail it out? Or do you
No,
just
people just
think,
don't do the research. It's all this is detailed on their website.
Yeah.
Like, you go, I mean, again, I know people just want it spoon fed to them, and like, you're not going to cram all your information into an hour. And I do,
yeah,
some of the stuff I do agree. Like, I think the price, of the games probably should have been there, right? Instead of on their website. I think, pricing and stuff, but like, I don't know. I feel like if people just don't do like it, to me, it wasn't a big deal that this information was on their website, right? Because they did come out and kind of talk about Switch, like the upgrades to the Switch 2 versions, right? It was kind of weird though that like the box art for these games did have that little disclaimer at the bottom, right? Some of the I don't know, they had that weird disclaimer about Switch 2 upgrade packs were separate from the cartridge or whatever, but like so maybe that's what people are talking about. But for me, like, I don't, because like especially if you go there and you click the links and click around and start looking at this stuff, it's explicitly written out, and like, and it's not even at the bottom, it's like the first paragraph. So I don't know.
I think it's Nintendo wants to make sure that people are well informed of what you're getting when you're purchasing this version of a game. Because people would be like, well, it says this and it says that, but I thought, and once that I thought phrase come out, it just starts making a whole bunch of
Mhm.
confusion and people getting upset and everything. So
Mhm.
I think Nintendo just want to be like, this is a game that's going to be on the game key card. This is going to be a
Mhm.
game fully on the cartridge, and then this game is going to be just only digital only. So
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
informing you when you're getting this game. These are the methods that is going to be released on.
Yeah, and I mean they have the indicators right on the box, right? I mean the Switch games did too. Like
Mm-hmm.
download required. Full game download, no cartridge in box, right? Like they have those disclaimers on the box. It made the boxes look super ugly. In fact, because they were so, kind of right there on the box. But again, that messaging was clear, and I am glad that they felt the need to come out and clarify this right away.
Mm-hmm.
Because people were so confused by it. Um, and that to me uh, was really like, okay, well, at least they're paying attention to what people are confused about. Um, because that, it's the same thing that Marathon did it today too, right? Where like they said we're aiming for a premium experience with this game during the live stream. And a lot of outlets started reporting that game was going to be a $70 game because it was a premium experience. And the Marathon Twitter account retweeted so many people and said, "We said a premium experience, not a premium price. More details on price will come soon, but this will not be a quote full price game." Um, and I was like, okay, that's great that they said that, and Nintendo kind of did the same thing with this, right? So
I always wonder why the price thing has become a big factor. Um,
because people need something to complain about, and people have to pay for other things, and they feel entitled to play everything. It's just,
do you
you know.
think it's just a clickbait attention getter because it's a
Hmm.
price?
Yes.
And people just like to complain. As I
Hmm.
said in the Boss Rush podcast, am I excited to pay $80 or $90 for Mario Kart World, depending if I get the physical? No, but when I look at everything in the big picture, I don't think it's necessarily an unreasonable business decision that they made. It's
Hmm.
me being an adult and making a decision, can I continue to afford this hobby?
So let
Hmm.
me and we're gonna get back into family news. So they announced the Last of Us collection for PS5. And I just found out the price is $100. Um and I'm not seeing, and it may be my fee, I'm not seeing any complaints about it. Uh I think people just like, why do we need this? I'm still not seeing that. Uh why do we think that Mario Kart World Tour got so much um fear from some people, and now not the Last of Us collection being $100?
This Last of Us
Um,
collection has 2 games, right? So
Yeah,
mhm.
it has
for
the
Yeah,
$100,
two
so
games. Yeah,
yeah.
two. I mean, they're both, and they're also both the PS5 remake remasters too. So like, plus it includes all the DLC for both games, and
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, but also Sony's remade the first game 3 times already. So like,
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe
I
the
don't know.
mentality is, oh yeah, there's 2 games in there and they've all this, that, and the other thing. But I also think people just fail to realize it's the same reasoning that, I Doug Bowser and I forget who else, but they were talking about why there was a $70 price tag for Tears of the Kingdom. It's because they hinted, and this was before Tears of the Kingdom came out, like, well, you'll see why it's worth more money. They put so much freaking content in there. And Mario Kart, seeing its history, I can't confirm like what they're gonna do, but I feel like it's either gonna the higher price will be made up for by additional tracks, maybe in a live service type fashion, or maybe
Mhm.
there's a lot more to this open world that we don't know. So we got to kind of take into consideration Nintendo's history of kind of keeping their promises about, you know, making up for the price hike.
Yeah. So Mario Kart 8 on Wii U, it total was like $73 plus tax. And I'm running it to 73 because it was $60 game, $12.99 for the DLC for it. With the with Mario Kart Deluxe on Switch, it was $60 and then $24.99, I believe, Corey. If you don't own NSO for all of that DLC. But
Yeah,
that
I think that's the other thing people are forgetting is that the Breath of the Wild DLC is included in NSO. Also, right? I mean, I don't know.
because the champion DLC was $20 for Breath of the Wild, and then Tears never didn't get no DLC. So
yeah, look, the only way you could make anybody happy is if you sell the console for $99 and every game is free and is the best game you've ever seen in your entire life, and someone would still complain. So,
oh yeah, 100% complain. So yeah, but
Oh,
okay, it
speaking
is
of
what it
Mario
is.
Kart,
yeah, Mario Kart, everybody. Supposedly, according to Nintendo Everything, Mario Kart World can supposedly run at 120 frames a second on the Switch 2. Mario Kart World, launching alongside the Switch 2 in June, is being hailed as the smoothest entry in the series to date. It introduces a 120 frames per second mode, performance mode, offering unprecedented fluidity for a Nintendo title, and maintains a solid 60 FPS in two-player split-screen mode. The game features an interconnected world. Blah 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 blah. We knew that already. Has the knockout mode, which is a 24-player race across the world type thing, and I don't know, 120 frames a second, cool.
normally
I
I
mean,
would
Mario
say
Kart 8 runs at 60, but
120. My simple mind wouldn't notice the difference, but I can only imagine a 24-player mode and everyone's that cow. Maybe it would be beneficial because I'm starting to see, by the way, pictures of like people who go to these like the events that Nintendo's holding for you to try out the Switch 2, and everyone's like going off on being on racing as the cow. So, but hey, good for the 120 frames per second for people that care about that.
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder if the 120 or the cow as a racer is gonna increase the sales of 1-2 Switch because they have that cow milking game
The
in there.
milk.
All I care is about popping y'all in the air with a red shell while I'm double jumping on walls or on the rail. Be like, oh, Corey's in the first, not anymore. Hit.
Hey, this is the first
Look,
time I've been excited about a Mario Kart game in a while.
well, to be fair, there hasn't been a new one in a while. It's been like
Very
12
true.
years. Yeah, I mean frame rate. I think it's, for me, like, frame rate on certain games isn't a huge deal, right? First person shooters is a big deal, and I actually think kart race or racing games in general, 60 frames at least is a big deal. Every time we play more than a 2-player on Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, it drops to 30 to incorporate the two other screens, and it's like, oh, man, you can feel it. But I mean, again, it's not really like a huge deal. So the things that have me more excited are the 60 frames Zelda titles,
Yes.
honestly,
Yes.
than a 120 frames a second Mario Kart.
Agreed. But hey, I guess if anything, we can just take away from, all right, this is one of the first games that they confirmed it with. I can't wait to see what other games will have this 120 frame per second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I
it'd be
want to.
cool.
Kind of feel like I want to upgrade my TV. That's what I feel like. Like this, like the Switch 2 is making me feel like, oh, I should save up and get a new TV, new big, widescreen TV with that does the 120.
Yeah, my TV already does 120, so I'm fine. Yeah, it's cool. All right, we're gonna move on because I don't really have anything else to say about that. Speaking of games that apparently run really well, Digital Foundry's Richard Ledbetter expressed his surprise that Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws, a graphically demanding game built on the Snowdrop engine, which is Ubisoft's kind of proprietary engine that The Division runs on, the South Park's games ran on it, I think Assassin's Creed runs on it.
Yeah.
So it's the Snowdrop game engine is running on the Switch 2, and he calls the game pretty mind blowing. It is a quote impossible port, which is pretty crazy. The game's smooth performance highlights the significant achievements of the Switch 2, showcasing its abilities to handle modern titles more effectively than expected. This not only speaks to the power of the new hardware, but it also to Ubisoft's impressive optimization work. So we do know Ubisoft is porting this game. However, I wonder if we're starting to see the fruits of that port house that Nintendo bought 2 years ago at this point to start helping third parties port things over.
Wow, has it really been 2 years?
It's been like a year and a half at least.
Holy cow!
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and then the final Square Enix released the Final Fantasy VII launched Switch launch trailer today. Or maybe it was yesterday. But like that game looks really impressive. It's running at 60 frames apparently. The gameplay they showed during this announcement trailer was supposedly running on Switch 2 hardware, and it's running at 60 frames, which is kind of surprising considering apparently it didn't even do that on PlayStation 5. So of course this is Remake and that's Rebirth, 2 separate games, but it's on the same engine. So crazy. This little guy seems to be pushing through.
Shiver Entertainment is the porting studio that Nintendo brought. They're the ones who ported Hogwarts Legacy on Switch. So I could see them go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, which is one of the better third-party ports that came over late, in my opinion. Not the best way to play that game by far, but it worked. So I think when third-party games start showing up on Switch, you just hope they work.
Pretty much.
I haven't played Star Wars Outlaws yet, and I haven't purchased it yet. I've been waiting for like a sale, but this might lure me in.
I have it on Xbox. It's kind of good. That's probably something I need to reinstall. Because I took it off to do Indiana Jones. Now that I took Indiana Jones off, I'll probably reinstall Outlaws and play it. It's a really good game. It's not that bad.
It's funny that you mentioned it that way, Corey, because I wrote an article on Boss Rush that it's going to be the Switch 2. The Switch 2 will be the reason why I finally actually give Elden Ring a shot. It's the Switch 2 that's going to do that for me.
Yeah, I saw that.
But Stephanie, a lot of people, even on the regular Switch, felt that way. When those games came out that got ported to Switch, people were just like, I think I'm finally going to give that game a try.
Yep.
Richard. I always go back to Richard 3 because the game did really good sales, and like a lot of people who played it beat the game and started talking about it. Be like, okay, now I understand why people love this game. Doom was impressive when that came out, and then people like played and beat the game on that system. So it's just like, yeah, a lot of people have that feeling.
Yeah, it's I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how many people will start playing around with different games that they haven't tried before, but just because it's on the Switch 2. Like,
I really think it's a lot because I think this is going to increase sales of those games. and we're gonna see those games like come back, in huge numbers, like on the I keep saying NPD, I know something else, but I think it's gonna start making records and stuff that this game sold this much at on Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the same thing as like when we talk about how The Witcher came over, and like, even though the hardcore people really played that game a lot, like people would dabble and then just thought they didn't have enough time to play it because they were in different life situations. And then when it came to Switch, a lot of people who weren't really into those styles of games ended up giving The Witcher 3 a try. And it was, I mean, that port was pretty impressive. I mean, that port was really impressive. I played a lot of The Witcher 3 on the Switch, even though I already owned it on Xbox because I bought it for like $10.
I think this is going to be the thing with Cyberpunk 2077. I think a lot of people are going to play and beat that game on Switch too.
Yeah, but again, that game's not really that long. I think I beat it in like 20 hours. The thing though is obviously this is like, aside from like the graphical fidelity and the frame rate stuff, like this isn't going to be like playing it on the PlayStation 4 when it came out at launch, right? It's not going to be busted. It's going to be like
complete.
Relatively complete. And it comes with the DLC. So if you're one of those people who are complaining about games not coming with DLC, there it is. Yeah. The whole game on the cart too, confirmed, by the way. 64 gig cart. The whole game and the DLC are both on the cartridge. So that's also pretty impressive. Speaking of impressive, I'm impressed that Nintendo announced GameCube for Switch 2. And if you can't find one of them handy dandy wireless GameCube controllers for your NSO, good news. If you found one of these when they were out for 5 minutes, the GameCube controller adapter and the Smash pads are both compatible with the Switch 2.
Hey.
So I have one. I have two, actually. I have the one that has the Wii U branding on it because I bought that for Smash 4 and ended up not using it because it was during that time when I was like, we really got to stop using these GameCube controllers. We got to you got to upgrade your stuff, right? Like I get that like the GameCube controller is an amazing controller, but even then it was like 15 years old. It's like, we got to let it go, guys. Gotta let it go. But now they're just straight up selling them again. So like, whatever. But yeah, if you have any of those Smash pads or the GameCube adapter or any old GameCube controllers with that adapter, you're going to be able to use them on this for the Switch 2 NSO GameCube games.
Yeah, everybody was kind of disappointed about that. They're just like, only for GameCube, I can't play my Switch 2 game with my GameCube controller.
What are you going to use them for? It doesn't have it's missing buttons. It's missing clicky sticks. It's missing a freaking second analog stick. Come on, guys, use your head. Use your brains for 5 seconds.
Once again,
no, they must go with their emotions. Just raw emotion.
That reminds me of a really funny joke I cannot tell on this podcast, so I will tell you guys after the show.
Okay.
Stephanie, this joke is right up your alley, actually. All right. Yeah. So speaking of GameCube on NSO, Digital Foundry broke down the Nintendo GameCube NSO emulation. So you don't have to. They conducted the in-depth analysis of the GameCube emulation on Switch 2, focusing on the 3 key titles that are coming at launch, Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero. The study revealed that these games run at a native 900p resolution, which is double what they ran on the GameCube itself with the component cables. The other cool things, though, the NVIDIA stuff inside upscales them to 4K. So you'll be able to play these games at a, roughly native 4K. Soul Calibur 2 and F-Zero GX maintain a smooth 60 frames a second, Wind Waker runs at 30. But the cool thing, and I don't know why Nintendo didn't do this for Wind Waker, but Soul Calibur 2 and F-Zero GX have been expanded to a widescreen format. Which, if you remember, out of the 3 consoles that generation, GameCube was the only one that did not have a native widescreen format. You had, like, it was a game-by-game basis.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I thought they did widescreen.
You had to go into the game settings itself and set the game to widescreen.
To widescreen.
If you had a widescreen TV,
Uh-huh.
and then you had to like go into your TV menu and make sure that was, you had to like adjust the screen settings to make sure it wasn't stretched or skinny or one of those things.
Was this the era when widescreen TVs were finally coming out, were like dropping?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were widescreen, but they weren't HD yet.
And they weren't popular yet.
Yeah, because I had one because I was like, when I bought God of War 2 was when I bought my first widescreen TV. I was like, I want to play this in widescreen because it had a widescreen option.
Right, because I didn't get my widescreen to like PS3, but I think that's when they started doing the HD widescreen stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gears. It was the 2 games that made me really want a widescreen TV were Gears of War and God of War 2. So, and it was I bought a 32-inch 720p Samsung TV, which my dad still uses to watch TV in his office, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. But other things across this, the analysis also delves into the history of Nintendo collaborating with NVIDIA. You should watch this video. It's really interesting. Again, to reiterate, Nintendo also reiterated that the wireless GameCube controllers will be coming to these titles. If you are an NSO member, you can purchase them through Nintendo's website, and more games will be coming to the service. So I know all of you are complaining that you can't play 700 games at one time on NSO.
I think if they ever drop Melee on there, I think that's when it's gonna be. Everybody's gonna be like, okay, I don't need any more.
That's gonna be an event, man.
Yeah.
When they drop Melee, because like I don't know if there's gonna be a Smash for a long time because Ultimate is still kind of going, and I think they're gonna supplement that change, like because obviously, what are you gonna do with the next Smash? They already did everything, right? You can only add so many characters.
Oh, there's gonna be tons more that they're gonna add. Like From Software. Oh shoot!
No, they already said that they were done. They're not adding anything to
Ultimate. I'm talking about for the next Smash.
Oh yeah,
when Nintendo working with From Software. Oh yeah, there'll be some From Software characters in there.
Well, my point is that they're gonna to maybe buy themselves some time. They will probably drop Smash Melee on the service in some sort of widescreen capacity at 60 frames and whatever, and hopefully people will like it. Well, they'll be like, oh, my screen isn't rounded, it's not standard definition, so I can't play it. My controller's not wired.
They're gonna be doing this during what's the final tournament?
Evo.
Evo.
But Nintendo doesn't go to Evo because it's full of pedophiles. Which is why they sold it to Sony, is because the people who founded it were terrible people.
Oh, you're right. But I'm just saying that people who are not watching Evo or don't care about Evo, you just about to see everybody look at Twitch. Here go all these professional players doing Smash tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair, I guess. So, anyways, NSO GameCube, pretty impressive. We saw the first kind of glimpses of this with the Sunshine port on the 3D All-Star Collection, which also has me wondering, will we get Wii on NSO now?
Stephanie, what is the rest of the Zelda GameCube games? Isn't it 4 Swords? I know it's Twilight Princess, Wind Waker. Is it 4 Swords?
I think 4 Swords.
The one game I was thinking of that might come here that we haven't gotten since the GameCube actually is the Ocarina of Time Master Quest.
Master Quest, dude.
Yeah, That
I'm
needs
tell-
to drop. I never got to play it.
Mhm.
Oh, go ahead, Stephanie. I'm sorry.
No, I was just echoing that. I wrote another Boss Rush banter of like what other GameCube games we'd like to see, and one of them was, "Hey, listen, no pun intended. I know we got Ocarina of Time from N64, but I mean, technically, we could get like we should be able to get Master Quest, you know."
I
Mhm.
would definitely play it. I never got a chance to play it or anything.
Mhm.
It's another game that I just didn't see in stores when it came out. I think Nintendo did like a limited sales of them.
Yeah, it's a Master Quest is weird. Speaking of cows and King Jabu Jabu's belly, some cows wandering around in there.
Mm, it's got a
Spoilers.
big appetite.
Yeah, so we do have a question from our friend Deshaun Malone via Blue Sky. He says, yo, people. Nintendo Switch 2 got that GameCube coming to NSO. Do you think, what do y'all think the theory on HD remakes and remasters for the era still come out on the platform? So, for newer listeners, because I know we've actually kind of had a lot within the last couple of weeks, before the Switch 2 kind of reveal trailer, that first one,
Mm-hmm.
my thought was like, okay, so they're still going to support the Switch 1. They're going to support it with remakes and remasters of Wii, GameCube, 3DS era games
Right.
that will also be playable on Switch 2. Because that's what the 3DS did, right? The last like few major games on there were remakes or remasters of
Yep.
other DS games, right? Like Kirby's Epic Yarn and Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, plus Bowser Jr.'s something or other.
Mm-hmm.
Metroid Samus Returns, Fire Emblem, Shadows of Valencia, like those are all remakes, right? And so like I thought, what a perfect way to keep that console going while you transition people to the new one than with Wind Waker HD, Metroid Prime 2 and 3, you know, maybe some of the Mistwalker games that never came over, or
Yeah, especially since they started doing that, like with Metroid Prime, the
yeah,
first Metroid
Yeah.
Prime, like it
there
seemed to go in that direction.
yeah, I mean there are over 30 games from that era on the Switch in an HD remake or remaster form.
Or even a port. They ported Pikmin 1 and 2 in that
Mhm.
combo
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing or whatever.
Yeah. So, I thought that's why I thought for sure GameCube was never coming or at least going to be held off for a long time. Because I was like, there's still a ton of games people would purchase for $50, $60. Fire
Yes.
Emblem, the 2 Zelda games, 3 Zelda games, maybe, like, uh, Eternal Darkness, the Rogue Squadron games. Like, people would
Mhm.
pay huge money for these games,
Yeah.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And there are games you could package together. Like I said, the Metroid Prime 2 and 3 HD games would be great remasters to sell before Metroid Prime 4 comes out. They're already
Mhm.
widescreen supplemented from the Wii version. They, obviously just have to clean them up.
I think more people would get a chance to play Twin Snakes.
Mhm.
Because like Nintendo, that's between Nintendo and Konami, and I don't think that Volume 2 is gonna have that game on there just for Switch 2. So why not play the GameCube game and see how Silicon Knights and Konami and Nintendo came together to make that. Like, and then there's still some launch games from the GameCube that still need to be released.
Yeah.
That could come out on the platform or get an HD remaster. Like Nintendo has a bevy of games for GameCube that people just may not remember or truly can get an HD lift
Yeah. Or
for it.
like, and to Deshaun's point, like I still think there are going to be games that are like important games will be HD remastered, but I think there are going to be a lot less now because GameCube NSO exists. Like
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking games like 1080 Avalanche, Wave Race, Wario World, Luigi's Mansion 1, these types of games that like could have possibly had like a $40 price point, or had some sort of like weird bundle, right? Like Wave Race and 1080 could have been bundled together in a weird package, or Wario World and like whatever the WarioWare game on that could have been in a pack. Like, you know what I mean? Like those types of things. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to see it with. I think you'll see Mario Sunshine at some point be ported over individually off that package. I think you'll see the two Zelda games come over, and I mean,
Well, that's the thing. Like, I
maybe.
don't know if we'll see Twilight Princess and Wind Waker outside of NSO. I was hoping for, because isn't next year also
See,
Zelda's 40th anniversary?
yeah, but also I think they will port them over just because they're already done. Like they're
Mm,
already in HD form on another console. So
mm.
like, that's my only pushback there, is that the work is already done. But because like Ed and I were talking about, like, before this announcement, I thought like Fire Emblem, Radiant Dawn, and Path of Radiance were going to be in a bundle together at some point, because they're like counterparts to each other, and now like makes me wonder if they are.
And I'm going to bring up Animal Crossing on the GameCube, because that's where the series started. A lot of people didn't know about Animal Crossing until future games. So like Nintendo has a chance to be like, we're re-releasing the first Animal Crossing. If they want to do the NSO route, they can, but they could put the first one out and like put in some quality life things to just be like relive the classic that started the Animal Crossing series by playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah. But I do think there will be games on there that'll be big deals. Like I think Mario Kart Double Dash will be a big deal when it comes out at
Yep.
some point. Although I think that's going to be further down the road, because obviously, no pun intended, because Mario Kart World is the
Kart
launch
World,
game,
yeah.
right? But
Yeah, that's Fantasy Star online.
yeah,
And
I mean, we could bring up 1,000 different games. I don't think we really need to do that in this. I mean, we could do that as an expansion pass at some point, but it's really shocked me,
regular
to be honest, that
GameCube
they announced
games
it.
regular GameCube games coming to like being resold, like getting an HD remaster or a remake. Nintendo still got a bevy of hits, and that's not even just including the third party who could still bring stuff out from that era. So like, I think they still have a chance to put it out, still do it for $40 or $50 or whatever, and people will go and get it. Because don't forget, a lot of people knew that GameCube was out, but PlayStation 2 was such a big hit and household name that people just ignored the GameCube because they just thought it was a kid system and it wasn't appealing. But GameCube, people who own a GameCube and retro collectors who know about GameCube, those games still resonate and people talk about ever since it's been released.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to be revisiting this topic in the future. But that was an interesting kind of thing, that these games are actually like, they look almost like they are remastered already. So speaking of enhancements, N64 on NSO is also getting some enhancements on Switch 2. The app will be introducing features like CRT filters for retro visual experience, customizable button mapping for each game, and a rewind function to undo in-game mistakes. These updates aim to improve gameplay and accessibility. So yeah, that's cool. They're offering some interesting features for N64. Stephanie, this is your era, obviously. I mean, I like N64 too, but you love the N64 more than anybody I know, I think.
It's unhealthy, but it's okay.
How do you feel about these enhancements for Switch 2?
I'm excited to try it out and see, because then, as much as I love the N64 era, it wasn't the prettiest era, and I'm having a hard time visualizing it being enhanced and looking better, because like, as much as I love it, it was kind of an ugly visuals. I mean, hey, I'm the one that pre-ordered the analog 3D, so imagine seeing those polygons in like 4K and stuff. So
Yeah.
GoldenEye 64, yeah.
It's already on NSO.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I don't
it's
know,
the
but
only version with online functionality. So
I
Yeah.
know. But yeah, so I mean, I definitely want, out of curiosity, see the difference. But maybe because I'm just so used to that low, yeah, the not so great graphics, I don't expect it to perform really well, so
mhm.
or look very good anyway, but
Yeah. Someone's coming for Edward. Geez, Ed, what's going on over there? What's going on here is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is a canonical tale for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
I know we talked about this in some podcast chat format somewhere, but they've seemed to have confirmed it because Age of Calamity, which was, had that art style and same kind of character set, seems to have not been canonical to this story. So they have confirmed that this is, and that's interesting that one is and one isn't, and
I wonder if they took that as probably not. I can't see them as taking feedback and really listening to their fans, but I listen to the Zelda Cast, which is the podcast associated with Zelda Dungeon,
Mhm.
and they constantly were, going back and talking about how Nintendo they weren't necessarily lying, but I felt that the marketing of Age of Calamity was a little inaccurate. I mean, I know it might be unintended, because I remember seeing the trailers for it. It looked like it was going to be a story heavy um, game, warrior style game, but it would tell the story about what happened when the Calamity first came out, and then it ended up not being as story heavy or not canonical, and a lot of Zelda fans who are really big into timeline and lore were heavily disappointed.
mhm.
Um, I'm looking forward to this one. I think because warrior games aren't really my thing, but for
Mhm.
some weird reason, I am very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, I think being canonical makes it more exciting, right?
Mhm.
Because from what I understand of the last one, Age of Calamity, it is more of a sequel to Hyrule Warriors directly than a
Mhm.
sequel to, or some sort of canonical thing to Breath of the Wild. So I think the fact that this is canonical and people still love these versions of these characters, um, and we're seemingly not getting another game set in this era,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which people have started calling Era of the Wild, which I don't know if that's been.
Oh, Arrow of
I
the
don't know.
Wild, yeah.
I don't know if that's like a thing people have been saying, and I just haven't been paying attention.
I
But
haven't heard of it. That's new to me.
yeah, I've seen it floating around. I mean, I guess it makes sense. But anyways, my point is like the fact that we're getting kind of one last ride with these characters before
Mhm.
we're introduced to new versions, right? Is kind of you know cool, and the fact that we can we're playing at Zelda and the champions, and seeing the Zonai in action, and
I was gonna say, I think this also is an opportunity for them to expand on characters that we really didn't get that much of. Like, I love the fact that Ganondorf came back in Tears of the Kingdom, but when you actually play through the game, he's not really in it a lot. And
Uh-huh.
same thing with Rauru. It's like you didn't really see him that much. So I have a feeling we will be able to see more and get more personality, more character growth or development with those characters. And those happen to be like my favorite characters. I love those guys, and I wish I got more of them from the game, Tears of the Kingdom.
Mhm.
It feels like Koei Tecmo and Nintendo are just business savvy and smart on how they could play around with the Zelda franchise, because they could make a sequel game, or they could make a full game, and they could build many worlds around that particular one game, and release it in different genres if they want to. But somehow there's going to be some things that get connected, because like Age of Calamity is supposed to be the prequel to Breath of the Wild, and I believe Age of Imprisonment is supposed to be somewhat a prequel to Tears of the Kingdom and everything. And I'm just like, they're smart on how they are able to do that. On how Koei Tecmo could take one of their series, the Warriors franchise or IP, and make it fit into a Zelda game while also fitting into that Zelda title if they want to.
Yeah. I also, not to like be a downer person, but I don't think Nintendo really cares about their canon for Zelda, like in a meaningful way, the way that fans want them to, at least, right? Like, yeah, of course they have that, but also like, I don't know if they really.
I agree. I mean, Nintendo in general has been gameplay first, story second, which there's nothing wrong with that approach. That's just their chosen approach. But they still ended up creating stuff like that, but it's just more of a after we secure gameplay and fine, we'll throw the fans a bone kind of thing. And I've accepted that,
Yeah.
I think Nintendo likes, sometimes they're just like, if we do a sequel to, if we do the number sequel, people will understand why these games kind of follow each other. But I think Nintendo really loves to be like, if we got new ideas or new gameplay, we could use that franchise and then title it something and have no number connected to it, so that none of the games connect. It's like you said, Stephanie, it's gameplay. And it's their new ideas. So just like, let's name it Tears of the Kingdom. Let's not name it, or Breath of the Wild. Let's not name it Breath of the Wild 2 and then 3 and stuff, because it's gonna get to a point where people gonna be like, well, why is this a sequel? You guys didn't improve anything,
Yeah. So that's cool. I'm glad. I hope this is good. I hope the narrative is good. I mean, I'm expecting a Warriors game, obviously, but I hope that the narrative is pretty good.
Before you move on, Corey, is Mario Brothers the only ones that have a number sequel? Most number sequels?
I mean, Splatoon. Zelda has Zelda 2, Splatoon 2,
Splatoon, Pikmin.
Yeah.
Pikmin, okay.
There's a lot of, yeah. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of sequels, Switch 2 has a game. I don't know where I was going with that. Basically, we're moving into these comments. This is our last story, by the way, everybody. So, Reggie Fils-Aimé, the former president of Nintendo of America, weighed in, sort of, on the controversy surrounding quote unquote, the Welcome Tour not being a free pack-in title. The way he commented on this was telling the story of how he convinced Nintendo Japan to pack in Wii Sports with the Wii, because it originally was not supposed to have it. And, he was pretty instrumental in getting that done, essentially being the one to get that done. And I mean, it worked out, right? I mean, Wii Sports was a smash hit. It was amazing. And he said he knows that Nintendo looks at themselves as a distinguished kind of, we're not going to give stuff away for free because we're prouder than that as a company, and as a, Japan's very honor driven. And so, it being $10 is a choice. He did say, quote, let's see, there was a quote in here I was going to read. I didn't write it down on the doc. Anyways, basically, he essentially is kind of conveying that he disagrees with the choice, but sees why they're doing it, essentially. So Yeah,
Hey, I mean, that's a reasonable little thing. Like, I would say I agree with that. I think it should be a packing game, but I
yeah,
guess I get it, and it is what it is.
yeah.
I,
I was listening to Gene Park of the Washington Post talk about this game
Mhm.
specifically, and he
Mhm.
said it is there. Yes, it is showing off the features of the Switch. Like there is literally a mini game where you have to say which thing is running at 20 frames a second and which one is running at 120 frames a second.
Mhm.
But there are over 50 mini games in this package that utilize the different features of the Switch. It's not just like go here and feel the rumble of the controller, right? It's there's like a spaceship kind of asteroid style mini game and an R type kind of mini game to kind of reflect lighting and that kind of thing. So like, I mean, if there's like 50 mini games in here, I mean, it's $10. I mean,
Yeah.
people pay more for WarioWare and it's less than this. So like,
Yeah, I think the era the pack-in ended for Nintendo, kind of ended with the Super Nintendo before we got a pack-in with the Wii, um, because like N64, GameCube, those didn't have pack-ins when they came out. Um, I think Tetris was the only pack-in for Game Boy Advance, for some of them. Um, but then like after that they didn't do any pack-ins with their handhelds and stuff. So I'm like the
mhm,
the, the reason they stopped doing pack-ins was because of cost reasons. Even
mhm,
for Sega, you know, when the Genesis first came out, it was Ultrabeast, and then they turned it to Sonic because Sonic was their big thing. But then when you got to Saturn and Dreamcast, you didn't really get any games, and Sony did a demo disc for PlayStation One. So like the
yeah,
era of pack-ins just wasn't there. I think a lot of people didn't know the era of pack-ins kind of stopped after like the 16-bit era.
yeah. I mean, there was an era where Nintendo didn't even pack chargers in with their Game Boys and DSs, right? Like,
For
I mean,
Japan, yes.
no, here,
No, they was releasing.
no,
Well,
I don't think, I
Game
don't,
Boy, Game Boy Advance and Game Boy, yeah, they did it because you had to buy batteries for them.
no,
But
I mean, like the subsequent versions of the DS or the 3DS,
mm-hmm,
they did not have chargers in the box. I
I
got it like when I got my new 3DS XL
uh
or
huh.
my new 2DS XL, I had to buy a charger separately.
It didn't
Go
come
back and
with
watch
one?
that episode. Go back and watch that episode where I unboxed it on the show.
Hmm.
There's no charger because they
You know,
expected you to already have one.
have one because
Oh,
I know that was a thing in Japan, but I was getting
And
like,
I don't think the Switch Lite comes with a charger either.
oh,
I
that's
think you have to buy
interesting.
one.
Hmm.
So
okay.
yeah, because I
I
have like
got it.
4 Switch chargers, and I just like because I bought them to like charge around the house, but I also
Mhm.
bought one because my Switch Lite didn't come with one. I don't think
I
so.
thought
Like,
I thought the
Hmm.
2DS. I thought the American systems were handheld systems were getting chargers, and I know Game Boy, Game Advance didn't do it because of batteries. But when DS came out, and all of those versions came out, they all had chargers here in America. Oh, interesting. Because yeah,
I don't
like
know.
you said, they expected
When
you
it's
to
dead, it's
have
dead. You
one.
can't play it anymore.
They expected you to have one, and it was supposed to lower the cost of production. When they released that newer version of the handheld.
Yeah, that's just a fancy way of saying, hey, if this is your second one, we need $30 more from you so you can play it. Uh, but yeah, I think not having either this or the Drag X Drive, the wheelchair basketball
Mhm.
game, one of those games not being a pack in is
Hmm.
kind of silly, but also like I'm pretty sure anybody and everybody is going to try to buy the Mario Kart bundle anyway, so that's your pack in game essentially, right? I think
Mhm.
they're kind of going to eat the cost of Mario Kart to sell the system at a win because like somebody I saw something go out the other day and we're gonna move into Pack Watch after this, but like maybe it was said earlier today that the Switch 2 is being made at $400. It costs $400 for them to manufacture, and they're going to sell it at a loss anyway because it's the first time they're going to sell a console at a loss since the Super Nintendo. Because of the components and like what they should be selling it at. They thought a $500 price tag for a handheld was too much, and they're expecting to eat the cost of Mario Kart so they can get consoles in people's hands so they can buy other games, which they will make money on.
Yeah, that's pretty much Nintendo's going to make money on the software, and I think my assumption is probably within a year and a half, depending on how the components get cheaper. I don't know how that all will play out. Nintendo can recoup or start making more money off the system once those components and stuff started getting cheaper. Of course, people going to be buying special editions, which would probably jack up the price for that special edition. So what is they could be probably getting systems like for $525 or something because of that special edition Nintendo Switch with that digital code or something in it. So like Nintendo could figure out a way with it, but they're probably betting on the software that they sell.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on this, Stephanie? Or
No, just I've already kind of expressed my thoughts. I do feel that, a packing game that would highlight the Switch 2's features would only benefit them, but at the same time, maybe they just know their Switch 2 is going to sell anyway, and they feel like you said, or Reggie said that they feel like their products are of premium tier. So it is what it is. I will probably not get that game, the Welcome Tour, but I'm also not going to be the one bitching,
that's fine.
bleeping, cursing at the internet about why games cost money. See, there you go. It's a game that's not $80. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's only $10, right? Like it's not like it's $50. So
yeah,
I mean, to me, that's kind of a big difference for me too. So
I plan on getting it. Welcome Tour.
Yeah, I think the only thing left to say is that I think people are more upset than I think they would have been because Astro's Playroom was a pack-in, has been a pack-in for PlayStation units for so long that.
But you got to
Speaking of precedence, right? I mean,
yeah.
But you got to spend $800 in total to play
that. No, it came out at launch for the regular PlayStation. Not Astrobot, Astro's Playroom, the pack-in game.
Right, wasn't that PS
PS4?
VR?
No, it was PS5.
I thought that was the pack-in for PSVR.
It's PS5.
They wanted to show off like the DualSense.
Yeah, Astrobot's Rescue Mission was the VR one.
Oh, okay.
But still, I mean, that's still 2 pack-in games in a row, right? So, yeah. All right, we're moving on. We could yell about stuff all night. What I don't want to yell about is new games for the week in the segment we like to call Pack Watch. These are the games that you can play on your Nintendo Switch this week, and eventually Nintendo Switch 2. Monument on 4/15, Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2 both come to the Nintendo Switch. In Monument Valley, you'll guide the silent Princess Ida through breathtaking landscapes, twisted staircases, and even shifting monuments. Each puzzle is a work of art inspired by minimalist design, ancient architecture, and mind-bending impossible geometry. And in Monument Valley 2 is a emotional puzzle adventure where architecture transforms as you play. Join Rio and her child as they explore stunning, ever-shifting worlds, solving optical illusions and challenging perception and their lives. So right now, if you pre-order the games, they're both $9 a piece. And I would say I didn't play Monument Valley 2, but Monument Valley is a wonderful video game. I think if you like games like Agree or Rhyme or something along those lines, even something like Fez to an extent, it's much easier and less pretentious than Fez, but it is similar in a way where like puzzles may not always be as they seem, and these are two very wonderful, relaxing video games, and they're only $9 a piece. And then the third one is coming later. I do recommend these games. I'm thinking about playing them again. I played the first one on phones, which was like, I don't know. It was like one of those games that like everybody was talking about, even people who don't like mobile games. So I was like, I guess I should probably try this out, and it was wonderful. Kind of like Donut County at one point was only a mobile game. Yeah. On 4/17, iRobot is coming out. I don't know if it's based on the same iRobot as the Will Smith movie, but maybe I didn't look at the trailer. I just saw the description. The premise of iRobot is simple. You take control of an ox-headed robot on a mission to outwit the all-seeing eye. In each level, you'll navigate across tiles, flipping each tile to proceed to the next. Make sure you don't jump while the eye's watching, or you'll be zapped away in a flash. Also on 4/17, Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate. Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate is a revamped side-scrolling beat-em-up with fighting game flair and anime-style pixel art. Rebuilt in Unreal Engine 5, it features smoother gameplay, flashier attacks, playable enemies in arcade mode, and a remastered soundtrack from both new and old classic tracks. Rusty Rabbit is coming to Switch on 4/17 in a post-human world ruled by rabbits. Old Rust Digger Stamp explores ancient ruins known as Smokestack Mountain. After joining a young team, he discovers clues about his lost daughter and hidden truths about mysterious data devices. With fast-paced mech action, treasure hunting, and upgrades, Stamp dives deeper into the ruins to uncover the past.
Man, thinking of everything here.
I know. 4/17 again. Man, that's 4 games on 4/17 that we care about, let alone the mountains of trash that are probably right behind it. Chaotic and uncoordinated by nature, the Tempopo rely on Hannah's conducting skills to keep on the right track and solve each island's puzzle. Each island is a challenge of planning and execution. The game is called Tempopo. I don't remember if I said that at the beginning or not. And then lastly, which I think is the one a lot of people have circled this week, on 4/18, the Lunar Remastered Collection. Before I go into the description, it is important to let everybody know who wants a physical version of this game. It is an Amazon exclusive physical release, and they are not taking pre-orders. You can only buy it the day it comes out. So if you want it,
Interesting.
Make sure you have Amazon open and refreshing on that screen. Bookmark that page. The product page is up. Just warning physical wanters out there.
Is that for PlayStation also?
Nope. Switch only. As far as I know. I think PlayStation is getting a physical one, but it's going to be more widespread. I think the Switch version is Amazon only. So the beloved JRPG classics Lunar Silver Star Story complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue complete return after 25 years in a definitive remastered edition featuring enhanced visuals, audio, and modern quality of life upgrades. This modern collection brings 90s nostalgia to life like never before. Follow Alex's journey to become the Dragon Master and stop the Magic Emperor. Then continue the saga 1,000 years later with Hero and Lucia as they uncover the fate of the goddess Althena, not Athena, Althena, and battle powerful foes across the world of Lunar. So, I I've always heard amazing things about these games. I don't know if it's just because they're hard to find and people love to say rare games are great, or if these are actually really great games. I've never played them. I know one of them was on Sega Saturn, so I know nobody played that one. And then I think Lunar Blue was on PlayStation 1.
I thought one of them was on Sega CD.
It was on Saturn.
I wonder which Lunar came out to Sega CD there.
I don't know. Sewer Shark. That came to Sega CD.
Oh my goodness!
when are we getting that 4K HD remaster of Sewer Shark?
Oh, good googly moogly.
Or that's the Demolition Man game for 3DO. When are we getting that?
Did they actually make one? I don't remember that game.
Yeah, it's like one of the best games for 3DO, which is sad. DLC and expansions coming out. Oh, sorry. Games that have your eye this week, guys. Anything?
For me, it would be Lunar. That's it. Monument Value 1 and 2. It's probably something I would get down the line. I mean, Feather Break Battlegrounds Ultimate seems cool. I would just have to take a look at it, but like really just Lunar at this time because I love working designs and I never got to try the Lunar series.
Ed will be buying every game on this list at some point.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, I know Monument Valley seems great, and Lunar as well, but I'm in almost like a game buying freeze, especially on the Nintendo Switch side. So I'm just trying to catch up and play things. And it doesn't help that a lot of the games on my wish list on Steam went on sale, so I kind of bought some there. So unfortunately, I'll just respectfully pass on this list.
Yeah. I will probably buy Monument Valley 1 and 2, honestly, just because they're cheap and they're great games, but also again, Lunar, it's one of those series like Suikoden, right? Like everybody seems to love it, but when you look at the sales numbers, it like you can't believe everybody who says it's great has actually played it, and I want to know if they're actually good or not, but I don't want to spend this $50 or $60 to buy it. So, I'll add it to my wish list and buy it later, probably if it's on sale and if it's actually, fun. All right, DLC and expansions coming this week. Doom 1 and 2 are getting Switch updates, which adds the some game mode called Sigil 2 to the selection menu, enhanced mod support, and resolves various crashes and audio issues. Disney Illusion Island announced this week that Scrooge McDuck will be joining the Disney Illusion Island in the free cash update that is launching on May 30th, coinciding with the game's release on other platforms, and it will be renamed Disney Illusion Island Mickey and Friends on that day as well. The Vampire Survivors teams up with Square for Saga series DLC for free, adding characters, weapons, stage, and JRPG style mechanic like party play and stat boosts and stuff like that. So if you're still playing Vampire Survivors, there's free DLC coming for you. Yes. Nintendo Switch Online updates. Sega Genesis is getting its first round of new games in a long time, including the first Streets of Rage game.
Yes.
Super Thunderblade, which sounds like a big game.
It's not.
Sounds like a game my son would make.
Yeah, it sounds like a 90s sitcom game where they're, playing they're playing a Super Nintendo with a Sega Genesis controller while Pac-Man sounds come out of it. And then eSWAT City Under Siege is also coming to Sega Genesis. So those are your eShop updates this week. Your Nintendo Music update this week is Luigi's Mansion. The original is coming to Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Music. So if you have NSO, you can now hear a.
I will say this: the Nintendo Music editions have been fire. Like they've been adding great stuff on a regular basis. So
yeah. It's a cool app. It's a neat app.
It's so funny. People been posting at work listening to the Nintendo Music app, and then they'll list all their songs and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, I wish all these apps were in one app. Like, why is like the Nintendo Switch app separate from the Nintendo Music app, separate from the Nintendo Today
Yeah.
app, separate from the parental controls app, separate from the the other 3 Nintendo apps that I have on my phone?
probably because
Why?
they want to keep it a la carte in case if
But
you don't want stuff, you don't
but
have to
what
have.
you should have a Nintendo app, and then the options are on like in the Nintendo app, and then you can listen to Nintendo music while you're scrolling through the Nintendo Today news stuff and messaging your friends through Nintendo Switch at the Nintendo. Like, I don't know. Anyways, not gonna go there. Nintendo, weird. And then we're obviously getting Zelda notes too. Like, why? Why are these separate apps? Let's get in community questions and topics in our segment we like to call Ed
Question block.
Question block.
Yeah.
Remember, if you have questions, you can write into us via however you want to: social media, email, Discord, snail mail, telegraph.
Snail mail. Who? That's the throwback phrase.
Smoke signals.
Yeah. Morse code.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Braille.
Yeah. Write into us. You can also join our live streams and ask during our live streams of the show recording. We will answer them throughout the show if you have them. Our first question comes from our friend Sam Hall via a YouTube comment. Both of the questions on our doc are from YouTube comments right now. So he says, "Hey, everybody. Really enjoying the shows lately and wanted to give you a shout out. My question this week is this: what franchise do you think will be revolutionized on Switch 2 the way that Zelda was on Switch? Will DK Bonanza be that title? Can't wait for your thoughts."
Well, I will say, not to and we can brainstorm others. I do think Donkey Kong will be revived, not just because of DK Bonanza, but we can kind of see the writing on the wall with them adding, Donkey Kong, like the part to the theme parks,
Mm-hmm.
and having Donkey Kong in the Super Mario Brothers movie. So I think Nintendo has been like kind of prepping the return of Donkey Kong. He's completely redesigned, so to speak, from the Rare design. And looking at how ambitious DK Bonanza is, I do feel like that is one of the IPs I feel will be kind of revolutionized on the Switch too.
I'm going to go with Pikmin. I think Pikmin will revolutionize as big because of the mouse controller and using the other Joy-Con in your hand, like for direction. Also, they could be using like a team-based way of having online players and the voice chat helping out you be able to like solve puzzles or make a world and everything. I think Nintendo could really use a lot of their other hardware to help make people, help play a game or make it through a game or even create a game. So I think Pikmin will be the one they could test on it, and I think people will get into it. Like, when we all got together, and let's say there's a big raid or something that's coming, like on the Saturday event, but we could grow our own Pikmin. We could, be able to use our mouse and everything to help raise as our special Pikmin and stuff, and we could get online and chat and talk about, okay, this is what we're going to do Saturday. We're going to have our red Pikmin, our green, our special Pikmin right here, and then the one special baby Pikmin that we raise would be our in it. Like, I think there's so much that they could do with just with Pikmin. So
yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like we're already getting two pretty, strange entries in two franchises, right? Like Donkey Kong and Mario Kart seem to be doing something really different for those franchises, right? And I still think the tweet I saw the other day of Red Faction Gorilla was hilarious. For those who don't know, Red Faction is like they kind of not invented, but made the let's destroy everything to find new ways to get through levels kind of a thing. And it was just really fun to see that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that I really do think the next Mario game, honestly, I know that's kind of a cop out answer, but the next 3D Mario game, whether it's on this console or not, like, is going to be, revolutionary, right? I think it's going to be something maybe as revolutionary as Mario 64 was, because like I don't think Mario Odyssey was as revolutionary as a lot of people think it was. I think it was a good 3D Mario game, but not as I think Galaxy was more innovative than Odyssey,
Yes.
in my opinion.
I agree. Odyssey was fantastic in quality, near perfection, but I wouldn't call it revolutionary.
So I think that will do something interesting. But I actually think there's gonna be a new Kid Icarus game on this console, and it's gonna be I was gonna say Breath of the Wild, a vertical Breath of the Wild, but like they kind of did that with Tears of the Kingdom. But I still think that could possibly be a formula you could see them trying, considering that the NES version was super vertical and kind of challenging that way. I still think a Kid Icarus game in the vein of Breath of the Wild, in the vein of Tears of the Kingdom, but with a difficulty like an Elden Ring or a Dark Souls. Because like I know we're getting the Duskbloods from Software, but I think Nintendo themselves is like, you look at their IP that they've released over the last couple console generations, right? They have their JRPG series in Xenoblade. They have their strategy RPG series in Fire Emblem, their action adventure game in Zelda, their platformers in Mario and Donkey Kong, Kirby, is their kid friendly kind of let's learn how to play games. They have their mini game stuff with Mario Party and WarioWare, their sports games. They have it all except for that really challenging action RPG.
Well, do you think that like the Immortals game that Ubisoft did, and with God of War, do you think Nintendo wants to avoid that? Because the first thing people was going to compare Kid Icarus to is to those two games.
Right, and I agree to an extent. I think Nintendo does not want to be compared to those games, and I think they think they probably have enough of those styles of games, especially now that third-party games are coming over, like that third-person over-the-shoulder action adventure with RPG elements style game. They will have enough of those. But with a franchise like Kid Icarus that not a lot of people know or even care about at this point, what better way to get them in than introducing it through a Breath of the Wild style world, which people love Breath of the Wild, in a genre that people recognize, like a third person action RPG. Right? I mean, that just to put it on people's radars, right? It doesn't have to be like the next most revolutionary thing, but that would be revolutionary for Kid Icarus, because the last one we got was that weird 3DS game that came with a stand because it cramped your hands.
Because that was Sakurai, and I think my question would be: does Sakurai touch it, or does it get the Mercury Steam treatment where some outside party would have to do it? Because I think if Sakurai touches it, it's gonna be Kid Icarus, but it's gonna be more in a comedic Kirby feel kind of game. And I think the only way that any other innovation or any other idea for Kid Icarus would have to come from a second or third party outside of Nintendo for Nintendo to partner up with.
I mean, I could see Bandai Namco doing it with a team, right? They seem to be pretty friendly with them, and they own they did own Dark Souls until they sold it back, so they have familiarity with that franchise. Not that they would have From work on it, but they could. I don't know. That would just be my interesting pick. But
if I can throw one and a half more in there, just because I do feel like, again, Nintendo's been prepping for it. I do feel like Metroid will really shine this year, especially with the Switch 2 enhancements of mouse controls. With the success of Metroid Dread, then remastering Metroid Prime, I think Metroid will be quote unquote revolutionized, or revived might be the better
Mm-hmm.
word.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to make a far-reaching shot, kind of like the Kid Icarus thing, I would say Star Fox, I think, could be a great opportunity.
Yeah, that was my
But
other idea.
I have no proof that they're even thinking about Star Fox. So
Yeah, I mean, you look at what Ubisoft did with Starlink
Yeah.
and that Star Fox.
yeah,
Like that's the best Star Fox game I think we've ever had, and it wasn't even intended to be a Star Fox game. So like, I think Star Fox needs a major overhaul, right? Like it's been following the same track, no pun intended, since the N64, right? Or Super Nintendo, really.
And I think Nintendo trusts Ubisoft to do their next Star Fox game, if anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if Ubisoft is even alive.
mm,
They'll be around. Ubisoft will be around.
Yeah, I know. I just like to tease, which is not funny because people might lose their jobs, but Um, yeah, Star Fox is definitely one I have circled of like, okay, we need to do something new with this. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we got a HD or a re-release of Star Fox Zero with fixed controls
mm.
at some point, but hey, who knows? All right, our last question comes from Stephen Myers. Writes in, "Sup, guys? Sup? I'm writing in to see what you think about third-party content. Sure, it's abundant now, but do you think we'll see games like the newly announced Marathon on the console and things like Battlefield, Red Dead, or GTA, or even something like Fable or Perfect Dark from Xbox? Yeah, it's exciting at launch, but will the third-party content whimper out like it usually does for Nintendo?"
So from Japan, it's not because Switch really help indies and Japanese companies do numbers like crazy. Because some of the Western companies were late on bringing games to the Switch because they really thought that it was a viable and they wouldn't make money. I think this time EA has learned, oh, you guys hit all close to almost 150. We had a chance to get sales for the system, but we had developers outright dissed it, and we just felt like our community would have supported. But I think third party now, definitely with Microsoft Activision owning Activision, Microsoft is gonna jump on there. They know they can do sales on Nintendo's console with under Microsoft direction. EA is going to depend on if we're going to support EA on Switch, because if we don't support them, EA is just going to bring on that reason. Oh well, that we're not selling games on the system, so we're not going to support it, regardless of power, regardless of how many systems be in their hands. If EA is not seeing coin come to them, they're not going to support it. So we may be in a force. We may be in a forced hand direction with EA. But I think for other third party, Japan is safe. I think we're going to get a lot of third party from them. Indies are safe. We're going to get a lot of support from indie games, but it's going to be some of the US or from stuff from us that we're going to support. Or if we're going to support it and stuff, and they got to bring out the games along with them bringing them for PlayStation 5 and Xbox. They got to release all that one game on all three platforms, and it's gonna be us depending on us we support it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it wouldn't be full steam ahead, kind of like how Xbox taken this position where we want all of our games to be available everywhere all at once. So I wouldn't say I'm expecting a complete flip of a switch, but I do think that we're going in the right direction. I feel like the Switch 2 is getting more up to speed where it's a bit more inviting to third party for them to provide support. And I think a couple of hints toward that. Well, I guess the main one for me is the fact that FromSoft is making their next game as an initial console exclusive to the Switch. And for the developer like that for the type of game that it is, I think is a good sign. Is it a guarantee? No. Is it a good sign? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to depend. I think a lot of companies are taking the approach that obviously handheld PCs are becoming a bigger thing, and the Switch has kind of shown these companies what people of this era of gaming kind of really want, right? And it's you know, they want to have their library whatever device they're playing on or wherever they're at, right? Obviously Switch comes with a dock, so you can kind of take it wherever you want anyway. But a lot of these third party games like Cyberpunk and The Witcher are offering cross progression across these platforms essentially. And there's a couple other games that announced cross progression across platforms for Switch 2 also. And so I think that's encouraging as well. So I if you would have asked me maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe I would have said, third party stuff will come to the console, but like again, the PlayStation 6 and Xbox whatever it is going to be coming out in the next 2 or 3 years, right? And they're probably going to be more powerful than the stuff that's out now. So you got to consider that. But like I said, with the rise in popularity of the handheld PCs and Switch kind of being on the level of those now, I think they have to consider, what's the lowest common denominator instead of how powerful can we make these things. And I think doing that will actually allow these companies to adjust their budgets accordingly, and maybe games will come out a little bit faster and kind of self-regulate the layoff problem in a way. But then you also have to combat these free-to-play games too, like Fortnite and stuff, which are super popular, right? We discussed on the Boss Rush podcast the other day that the top 10 money-making games on PlayStation 5 since the console's release are the same 10 games, and they're all, it's Fortnite, Roblox, Grand Theft Auto,
Minecraft,
FIFA, Minecraft. So like, those types of games. And, you just have to kind of adjust to the market and not copy what's going on now, but try to see where it's going. And I think Nintendo with the Switch saw that, right? And Switch 2, we're kind of sitting in a place where people want innovation within a unit that is comfortable. And I think that the Switch 2 is giving us that, where the innovation is, 4K in a handheld, 120 frames a second on screen on the handheld that you can plug into your TV, and some of these other, maybe some of the online features, or they're doing stuff within the console that's innovative, that's not necessarily going to ruin the experience of someone who just wants to sit down and play a game for an hour or two at night. And so I think third party stuff will be reconsidered greatly this generation. That said, like Ed said, I do not think we're going to see Grand Theft Auto 6 on this device. I don't know how much more EA stuff we're going to see on this device, although I am kind of surprised Dragon Age, the Veilguard, was not announced for this, just for the simple fact that I think it being on the Switch would actually boost its sales, because it seems like a game people would play in handheld mode, because they already optimized it for the Steam Deck, right? That was like their big selling point. This game runs great on the Steam Deck if you got one. And like the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, right? Like, I wonder if we'll get that over there. 2K is obviously going to support this thing, right? I mean, we're getting Borderlands 4, Civ 7, and a few other things will probably eventually trickle out, but there are still games that probably will not come to this console, right? And
I think with Grand Theft Auto 6 not being on Nintendo's console, I think Nintendo fans wouldn't be worried, because I think they already plan to play it on somewhere else. But even with that, I think with new IPs from Square Enix or Konami or even smaller indie games, um, something like Witchbrook or um, something like just something very small like Hades 2 from Supergiant. Like those could do numbers on Switch too. And so
Mhm.
people would be like, okay, yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 is out. Great. Everybody's having fun. Okay, Article of Hades 2 is still dropping week after week after week after week. Maybe another month. Like, even though Grand Theft Auto 6 is a big game, the game could drop and could be forgotten completely right after it drops because everybody's just playing it. But there could be other games that's coming to Switch 2 that's getting like um maybe widespread great positive talk and marketing and everything. So
Mhm.
like just because Nintendo may not have one particular game doesn't mean that the other games that's coming to the system is not going to, get no recognition or anything because they can. Look at not Bravely Default, Octopath Traveler. That was a sprite based game that no one knew on how big that was. And then that game took off. And then I wish Octopath Traveler 2 would have took off more, but like people wanted that game to have Game of the Year for best role playing game and stuff. Like Square Enix and Ubisoft was running Nintendo Switch at one point.
Mhm. Yeah. But like I think any third party game that you would like from this current generation
Mm-hmm.
relatively, and especially the PS4 Xbox One generation, I think, and they mentioned Xbox on here, right? So I think Xbox is going to put as many games on here as they can. Xbox wants to be everywhere, however they can do it. And
I feel like
yeah.
ZeniMax is the thing. It's the company that Xbox would like thrive on with Nintendo Switch. So everything from Bethesda, um, to id Software and all of them, like they would thrive on Nintendo Switch. I believe.
Well, I mean, From Software is bringing two games over, one of them exclusive, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I expect to see a flood of ports just to have their games on the platform,
Yeah.
and that's my kind of wrap up thought there. Like, it's they're not going to be marketed super well unless they're newer games. Like, I do expect something like Mass Effect or Dragon Age if they were to come over to be marketed heavily, but like Ubisoft does a big Assassin's Creed dump on the Switch too, right? Like, oh, all these games are available now. You can go buy them. Like, I don't see them saying, doing a $2 million marketing campaign on Assassin's Creed Syndicate, right? Because they're
Right.
decided to port it to the console. So, but that's it. That's all we got. That's all the questions. Time for our 60-second final thought. Stephanie, you're our esteemed
Well,
guest. You got any final thoughts for this episode?
steamed? I don't know. I don't think my final thought is really anything new, but I'm very much looking forward to this new era. And I'm okay walking into it a little bit blind. I know there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of angry people making assumptions, but I just recommend going into the rest of 2025 for gaming with an open mind. And
Mhm.
second, Nelly, and give lots of hugs.
Mhm.
I love hugs. Hugs are good.
Look, when those quarterly Circana reports come out in July and in October, we'll see how angry people really are at the Switch 2, right?
Right?
Um, Eddie V.
Um, for my final thought, I think for me personally, I think Switch 2 is going to be maybe one of the biggest highlights of video gaming for 2025. And the reason I say that is that outside of the games and the functionality with the mouse controls and all of this, all of the gameplay stuff, I really think people are going to, when they pick up the system, they're going to be entertained and expectations that they have for the system is going to be above and beyond. I think I think once again Nintendo is going to not trying to say they're going to save the video game industry, but I have a feeling that they're going to make 2025 maybe one of the most interesting and best years of gaming. That people just be like, yeah, any game that comes out needs to be on Nintendo Switch 2. I think that's going to be the feeling people get with the system, and everything. And no disrespect to the PC crowd or anything, but I think games that's coming up that's originally planned for PC, I think they're gonna be like, yeah, we're dropping it on PC and Switch 2, and then everybody else would get it. So I think Switch 2 library is going to be bigger than what we expect.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be bigger just because it's already going to have that influx of games already from Switch 1, and how many Switch 1 games are we going to get with Switch 2 upgrades, or that kind of thing.
Well, those waifu games too from the eShop. I mean, hey.
Yeah, we need more of those anime games, right? So
one more, Corey, before I turn it over to you. I think Sony and Bandai is going to really team up to get a lot of their games on Switch too. I think Sony's going to go through Bandai to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Sony seems to be on this licensing initiative for their smaller games, right? Like we already saw Freedom Wars remastered, right? And Hot Shots Golf, man.
That and Patapon.
Yeah, Patapon, like these games, they're coming.
Waifus in 120 frames per second.
Antonio in the chat. I love Antonio.
Jiggle physics.
You got to get him back on here. I love
miss you, Antonio. I do too.
I miss him.
You love you, Antonio.
Yeah. I got distracted by waifus at 120 frames a second.
Oh, and Nelly, if you're still watching this, that board game thing we played at PAX West is coming out in early access. The game we played this one particular board game on through on PC that we definitely enjoy. It got a release date for Steam for early access.
Nice. So yeah, I guess I'm excited for Switch 2. I don't know how many more times I can say that honestly, but like it's all I've been thinking.
1 million times.
Probably in the next week. I'm ready for it. I mean, I think we've all been ready for it for quite some time, but now that it's finally announced in here and we know it's the games that are coming, and my son and I watched the Treehouse stuff today because he likes Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, and he was having a blast watching it while he was eating his lunch. And I don't know, the thing about the Treehouse stuff is like it's very like, I know it's kind of cheesy, and the hosts are kind of like real mellow and kind of whatever, but like it's nice that I can sit and watch it with my kids, and Stephanie, I'm sure you feel that with Nikolai, right? And it just kind of has that. I've been watching things from a different perspective a lot over the last year as my kids have grown to like video games, and I'm ready. I think Donkey Kong looks really interesting. I guess that's my final thought, is Donkey Kong looks really cool. I'm not a huge Donkey Kong person. I do think that the 2D games are great, but I really like the design of Donkey Kong. I think he looks awesome.
I really hope they open with a Donkey Kong rap, but I don't think they will.
That would be amazing.
DK.
I mean, what's Grant Kirkhope doing? He's writing jingles for Ukulele Remastered. Come on, what's he doing? Yes,
I thought he had another project too.
I don't know, man. That's why I asked what he's doing. All right, Ed, get me out of here.
Okay, everybody. Ben and Neko, hurry up, get Tekken 8 on Switch. So I got hear that soundtrack on the go.
Street Fighter 6 looks cool on Switch, by the way. It looked good when they were playing it on Treehouse.
All right.
$30 for that amiibo, though. Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, when you told me that, I'm like, do I?
Oh, they're so big. Did you see them standing next to the normal, like, Smash versions of Ryu and Ken?
I have it.
They're like twice the size. They're huge.
Oh, good.
Holy cow. Yeah.
They're like that Jumbo Detective Pikachu
Well,
size.
Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of Nintendo Pow Block. Remember, you can find new episodes of this podcast every Monday morning on YouTube, podcast services, as part of our free Patreon content, and on our website at bossrush.net. If you enjoyed the discussions on today's episode, leave the video a like or a good rating on your podcast app. If you subscribe to our Patreon, you gain ad-free access, early access to a special pass and book club, and exclusive access to Pow Block 1-Up. Thank you so much for watching and or listening. Stephanie, thank you once again for joining us for Nintendo Pow Block. To everybody who watched this episode live, thank you for all the comments. We truly enjoy the engagement that you guys give us. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Goodbye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.